This video is brought to you by Sweetwater and more about them a bit later. All right, so today I want to talk about budget camera monitors and why it's important. Besides just having a way to look at your image, compose your image, have a bigger field of view of your image coming out of your camera, I want to talk about not only that, but some important reasons why you should consider having an external camera monitor. You don't have to spend several hundreds of dollars or $1,000 or more because they can get up in price with camera monitors. Just depends on the quality and the feature set. So today I have three budget options for you under $250, and they're all good monitors across the board, but I'm going to explain the differences between the two, and the one that costs the most actually qualifies in two different models, and I'll explain the difference between those models later on in the video. So let's just jump right into these camera monitors, and we're going to start from least expensive on up to the most expensive one, but still obviously in the budget realm of things. And the first one I want to talk about is this one right here, which happens to be the Shure M5. And this monitor is really nice and it's really budget, coming in at $139. And I love the build quality of it. It is built like a tank. I mean, it's literally all metal. Even the sides and the back and everything is all metal. So all these monitors are pretty much going to be the same as far as features, monitoring tools, inputs and outputs that you can have. Some of them vary and differ just by a little bit, but not by much. So on the Shimball here, you do have your HDMI in and out right there on the side. You do have a DC barrel port in. On the other side, you have an SD card slot for firmware updates and to load your own LUTs if you have those. You have a quarter thread on the side here, and you have a headphone input so you can monitor your audio if you have your audio being passed through from your camera via your HDMI cable. You also have a quarter mount thread on the bottom, and on the top here you have your function keys and you have your power button. So your function keys serve as quick keys, so if you want to do them as false color, zebras, focus peaking, exposure, stuff like that, or any sort of tools that you want monitoring wise to set up, you can do that. It is a really nice screen. It is 1200 nits for this screen, if I'm not mistaken. The monitor itself can accept a 4K signal, and it displays 1920 by 1080. On the back here, you have your NPF plate, so it can accept any NPF batteries, 570, 770, or 970. So overall, this is a great monitor for $139, and it's a 5.5-inch monitor. And the cool thing about that is like you don't have to rely on your small camera screen in order to compose your shots and your images. And better yet, you want to make sure that you have a good field of view, because you don't want to get back to post later and say, oh man, I didn't see that this was cut off or on the side or the top or the bottom. With a bigger monitor, obviously you're going to be able to see more of the image. So that way you're not surprised when you get back to do your editing. So at $139, this is definitely a budget item, and it's a good monitor. Image quality wise, I would say it's pretty good. It's not great or knock your socks off, but it's decent. It's going to give you probably a little bit better image quality than your built-in camera screen that you have on your camera currently. And what I do like about it is it has tons of features, and some extra added bonus features throughout all these monitors. What I like is you can set the color space, which obviously mostly is Rec 709 if you're doing anything for web. And you can also set the gamma, which usually is 2.4. You can also set the color temperature of the screen. But just keep in mind too that with all these monitors, you can add your own LUTs. So that way, if you have your own custom LUTs or you purchase LUTs, you can load them onto all of these monitors, obviously individually, and you'll be able to better see what your image could look like or should look like in post if you use those said LUTs. So that's a nice feature to have on all of these monitors. So that is the Shimball M5. The next monitor up is going to be the FieldWorld F6 Pro, and it is also a 5.5-inch touch monitor. All of these are touch, by the way. On the bottom here, what's a little bit different is that you have a DC out 8.4 volt. So actually you can pass through power out to a different device via a barrel connection, which is nice. You also have USB-C 5 volt power at the bottom input. So that way, if you want to power this with a USB-C battery bank with power delivery, or say any sort of V-mount battery that has power delivery, you can do that besides the barrel connection that you have on the side here. And then obviously you can pass it through on the bottom. It does have quarter mounting threads on the side and on the bottom as well as the top. Also on the top, you have your function keys, which this has three, F1, 2, and 3. You also have a touch button. So if you want to take the touch aspect off of the screen so you don't accidentally tap it or something like that, you can do that. You can't do that with the shim ball. So that way you do have menu buttons, arrows up and down on the top if you just wanted to control the monitor and its functions and the user interface that way. And then you also have your exit/power button. So if you want to back out of a menu, you can tap it. You can long press it to turn off the monitor and turn on the monitor. On the back as well, NPF style battery, which is a 570 on this right now, which it actually comes with. And what I like about that is it comes with a battery first and foremost, so it's ready to go right out of the box. But the battery that it comes with has a power indicator on the back to let you know how much juice is left, and the battery itself accepts USB-C power delivery, so it can charge the battery. So if you have a USB-C cable laying around, you don't need an external charger. You can just plug this up when it's dead, charge it up to USB-C, and you're good to go, and you just pop that right back on the monitor. Also, another feature that it has is an NPF external plate. So if you want to power an NPF accessory like a wireless video transmission system, you are able to do that because it has that plate on the back. And that is really nice and functional for having the ability to power another accessory without running, that accessory with a different cable. It's just built all right into the monitor here. Now, as far as build quality, not too bad. It's all plastic, but again, that's to be expected for a budget monitor, which comes in at $169. So it is all plastic filled. It is lightweight. So it's not the most durable or rugged monitor that you could buy, but as far as features, it's pretty good. Again, all these monitors have the monitoring features that you can come to expect: Luma waveform, RGB waveform, vector scope, histogram, aspect ratio, safe grids, anamorphic support. So even if your camera doesn't support anamorphic and you're using anamorphic lenses, you can squeeze the image right here so you can actually see what the image is going to look like. Across the board, they're going to pretty much have all the same monitoring tools. It just really boils down to the image quality and of the display that you get. This also accepts 4K and it displays 1920 by 1080. So this is the FieldWorld F6 Pro, which comes in at $169. Good budget monitor. Out of the two, being 5.5 inches, I would say the Shimball is definitely built better, but the screen on this one, the display of the screen, is a bit better than the Shimball. So if you're looking for a better screen image quality, then I would say the F6 Pro is the one you should probably get. Now, this particular monitor has basically two different SKUs, two different product model numbers. And the one that I have in my hand is the more expensive one, but they are identical. So I'm talking about the Portkeys LH7H, which it also accepts a 4K signal. It displays at 1920 by 1080, 1500 nits. And this one, look at it. I mean, it just looks good. The display on it is really nice. It's a really nice IPS display. Also accepts NPF style batteries, does not accept USB-C power delivery to power it, although it does have a DC-in port at the bottom, which supports 7 to 24 volts. And then you also have a USB-A port on the bottom, so you can load your own LUTs and do firmware updates. On the side here, it does have a quarter mounting thread. It also has it on this side, and obviously it has it on the bottom because that's how I'm holding it. At the top, you have your function keys. On this one, it happens to be 4, F1, 2, 3, and 4. You have a battery push switch, so you can release the battery. You have an on-off switch, and you also have a switch to disable touchscreen functions on the monitor itself. Build quality, again, plastic. You got to expect that from budget. The LH7H comes in at $249. The image quality on this one, out of all the three, is the best. I mean, the screen is just beautiful, really nice, vibrant, rich, accurate colors, in my opinion. And with this particular monitor, like I said, it comes in two different flavors. This happens to be the LH7P. So the LH7H is $249, and the LH7P, you can find it anywhere between $299 if it's on sale, all the way up to $349. The only difference between the two, spec for spec, display wise, brightness wise, feature wise, monitoring tools wise, is with the LH7P, the more expensive model, it does have camera control functions. So if you have a Sony camera or a Blackmagic camera, you can control and manipulate the settings of your camera with this monitor here via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Now, I have a Lumix S5 2X, but I have not tested that feature with it. Last I researched, it wasn't supported. Although I haven't looked at any new firmware updates that may, be different now. But if you do have a Sony camera or a Blackmagic camera, that's the difference between the LH7H at $249 and the LH7P anywhere between $299 to $349, depending on what price you catch it at. Is the LH7P has camera control. So that's really nice to have. So that way you don't have to go into the menus of your camera. You can control it just by touching on the screen, and that functionality comes up in the interface. And this monitor is a 7-inch monitor, which for me, bigger is better, right? That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Okay. Anyways, I do think bigger is better when monitoring your images, but I do just prefer a 7-inch screen. It's just good. I mean, it's just good to have a good field of view, be able to see. And like I'm using it now, I'm using it basically as a reference monitor plugged up to my camera. So that way I can make sure that I'm in focus, that my composition looks good, nothing's being cut off. And you can do that with a 5.5-inch screen, but obviously having more screen real estate is just better. And the brightness on it and the color accuracy is just great. It's just great. Now, full transparency, all these companies did send me these monitors, but they don't get any input or any say. These are my opinions, and one is not swaying me over the other except for just simply quality. Now, it doesn't have a metal build, a real rugged build, but I'm more worried about focusing on image quality. I don't plan on dropping my monitor. I mean, I know mistakes happen, but when it comes down to just having a good image quality and great monitoring tools, and for me, having the LH7P can control the camera functions, which I do have a Blackmagic camera, I just don't have it hooked up to this monitor right now. I can do that with this. Or if I had a Sony camera, I can do that with this. Maybe I can do it with the Panasonic. I need to do my research and see if they enabled that feature for Lumix cameras. But I just overall like this monitor better. But if your pockets cannot support $249 to $349, then the Shimbal and the Fieldworld F6 Pro are viable options. And I believe whether you get this one or the other two, they're still going to give you better monitoring tools and functions than, say, what your camera can do in your camera screen. Plus, you have more real estate for field of view, exposing your image correctly, getting your skin tones correctly with all the monitoring tools like false color, exposure, zebras, etc. So let me know what you think about these monitors in the comments. I would gladly like to know what you think about them. And I like them all. They're good in budget. 139, 169, they're either 249 to say 349. I'm interested to know if you have these monitors, and if you do, what do you think about them? So I hope this helps you. Product links will be in the description below. And yes, I do get a small percentage kickback off of these products if you buy them, but it's not a lot. It just really helps me with the channel, and it motivates me to continue to make content like this for you guys. Even though I was sent this stuff, I can always buy more budget gear if you support the channel, so I can review stuff to help you make a more educated and my opinionated decision when you're going to look for camera gear. So today's sponsor of the video is Sweetwater. And in case you haven't heard of Sweetwater, they have been around for years and years and years. And they've always been known for their audio gear, whether that's high fidelity audio gear, guitars, preamps, microphones, sound systems. But did you know that Sweetwater now carries cameras and lenses? Also, they carry awesome stuff like DJI gimbals. And currently right now in their lineup, they have the cameras that I'm using, the S5 II and the S5 IIX and the Blackmagic line of cameras. And what's awesome about Sweetwater is they have a variety of different bodies, different lenses. They carry the Panasonic lenses as well. And they have other pieces of gear that will help you as a content creator. And a really awesome thing about Sweetwater is if you qualify, they have easy payment plans to where you can break up your purchase in anywhere between 4 to 6 easy pay plans. So if you've been wanting a new camera or wanting a new gimbal or wanting a new lens, if Sweetwater has it on all of their products, pretty much they have easy, affordable options for financing basically. Now, with their easy pay plans, they don't charge you any interest whatsoever. They just make it convenient and easy for you to buy that gear that you've been wanting. So I would definitely check out Sweetwater if you're in the market for a lens or camera, DJI gimbal, or say any audio gear that you may want. They have all kind of stuff like microphones and audio interfaces, stuff to help you with your content creation journey. So I would definitely check them out at sweetwater.com, and the link is in the description below. So that's it for today's video. I hope that I provided some value to you. If you're in the market for a budget camera monitor, definitely give these a look and see if they will fit your workflow for your video production. I believe it's important to always have an external monitor to be able to look at your image, and that's why I made this video today. So I hope it helps. If you liked this video today and you found any value in it whatsoever, please, 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 please subscribe to the channel, because 96.2% of the folks that watch my video aren't subscribed. So I would love to have you stick around. Go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, ring that bell notification icon so you get notified when I make videos like this. And if you enjoyed it, I would greatly appreciate you sticking around and hitting that subscribe button. So until next time, be safe, be kind, be passionate, and take care of each other. See ya.